because I know a lot of freshmen, like, going into college, they think about what they're going to do senior year.
Facts.
They think about what they're going to do right after senior year. And that affects what they're doing freshman year. So a lot of those thoughts wrap around financial issues or living alone, like what we were saying earlier. I guess your take, what is your financial advice you could give to people who are even freshmen now or seniors now to give them peace in mind so they don't worry about all this stuff while they're taking their classes?
You must create a budget. The main pitfall, especially for first generation graduates or people even in the Black community, is that once you get out of college and you start making all this money, you just start spending it the same way you made it. And then you realize at the end of the month, you have no discretionary income. You have no money left over. That's because of a lack of discipline and a lack of organization. And a budget essentially attacks this problem head on. Even if you're making $100 a month, there's a way you can budget that out. I remember I got a TA job in college when I transferred to tech, and I would literally get $200 a month. And sometimes before I started budgeting, I would get the 200 and it's gone, and now I have no money. But I realized even with that small amount, I can still be proactive about budgeting. And I've seen how much dividends that's paid me going into the real world, getting big boy money. And I realized me setting up that budget in college set me up for dealing with more money in the real world. You may be asking, okay, but I'm in college and I'm barely making anything to even survive. The habit of budgeting, the habit of creating a budget on a spreadsheet, of using Mint and TurboTax or using these apps to help you budget, that in itself is very strong and puts you ahead of the game in terms of financial literacy. Because it all starts with your budget. It doesn't matter how much money you make. If you don't know where to allocate the money, it does not matter. You're trying to invest, but you have no money to invest. Why? Because you don't have a budget. You don't say, okay, I'm going to invest this 10% every month. A lot of y'all can't even pay tithes because you don't even understand how much you're spending on other things.
Pay what?
Tithes. For instance, like, it's a biblical principle to give 10% to God. But
Yeah.
sometimes people don't even know how much they're spending. So how would they know how much to give? In the same vein, investing. I'm going to invest 50% of my income into this stock market, maybe Tesla, right? But you don't even know how much you're spending at the shoe store. You have to have all that down pat. And there's apps to help you. It's not just like you're sitting there writing out every transaction. Create an allocation of where you're going to spend on food, what you're going to spend on discretionary shopping, essentials. If you have rent in that, rent as well. And have that structured out. There's a good 20, 30, 50 rule that's out there for budgeting. If you was to get that down pat first, you're already ahead of the game. Most Americans live paycheck to paycheck, even in the real world. You never want to be that person. So first things first is budgeting. Second thing, especially going through college, now you guys are over 18 for the most part, and you have access to credit cards. And these credit card companies, they prey on people that don't have knowledge on the credit card game. So the main thing, especially if you're a first generation immigrant that is going through college, your parents would have told you,
credit cards are the devil, don't touch them.
It's a lie. They have been burned. And we have to understand that it's a game, and we have to play the game according to the rules to win the game. So with the credit card, the golden rule is to never spend money you don't have. So when you get a credit card, use it as a debit card. You're not going to spend $300 knowing that you have $200 in your bank account. You're not going to do that, because you're going to be wondering, how am I going to pay this? Realize when you use credit cards, you're building your credit. It should be used as a tool to build your credit. The main way to build your credit is to make payments on time every month and to be spending less than 10% on your credit card. Make sure you're paying down whatever you spent on the credit card down below 10% before your closing date. A big thing that I really only found out about my last year of college, because my roommate he had an internship on Wall Street as an investment banker. Yeah. Booz Allen. Okay. And he actually introduced me to investing principles.
Chinadu, right?
No, this is a different roommate. This is my senior year.
Oh, okay.
And his name was Kyle. And he was telling me about investment principles, and I went to go do my own research, and I realized that I had literally been foregoing money that I could have had for the last 3 years since I've been an adult. So the third thing is investing. The thing about investing is that your money now is going to be worth so much more in the future if you invest it. A lot of times we want to get money and spend it, but if we invest it into something profitable in the future, you can see your money grow exponentially. For instance, if I was to put even $2 into Bitcoin, or let's say Apple back in 2000 or 1999, and you think of how much those $2 would have got me now, Apple stock is astronomical nowadays. Bitcoin's at what, 60,000? 39,000 still. Think about the dividends that could have paid throughout those years. And those $2 is probably worth thousands now. Now think if you did that on a greater scale. Instead of $2, you put in, let's say, $100 a month. Let's say you put in $1,000 a month. Think of that monies in the future. Even 20, 30 years exponentially. Those that are algebra nerds, you know those exponential graphs and how they curve upwards. That's us with our money. The caveat is the earlier you start, the more you're going to end up with. But a lot of us don't figure out about investing until it's too late or until we don't have enough time to let our money grow. I remember I was talking to my aunt about investing literally a year ago, and she was kicking herself over the fact that she didn't learn this stuff when she was my age. In her position now, she's in her 60s. She would have been well off. But if we don't make an active effort to even invest when we even maybe making $200 a month, even $2 invested into the stock market a month would pay dividends 10, 20, 30 years down the line. So investing heavy, but that's only with the caveat that you're paid off your debt. A lot of the people that are going to college, you may have student loans. You never want to get into credit card debt ever. Never do it. But if you're spending money you have and not money you don't have, you shouldn't worry about that problem. Paying off your debt always comes before investing, because if your debt, if you have let's say you have a student loan of $50,000 compounding 7% annually, and instead of paying that off, you decide to invest in an index fund that compounds, let's say 6% annually, you're going to still be losing more money on average because the debt is taking more money out of your pocket. So it's important to pay down your debt as soon as possible so you have the money to put into investments and grow. But again, you can start that at any point, not necessarily when you have big boy job or the big boy money, but even building that habit when you have only $100 a month, $200 and things of that nature, and to go from there.
I think a lot of people struggle with that, with the self-control and like budgeting and investing, not only because of just knowledge aspect, but because of like a habit aspect.
Yeah.
I think a lot of money issues can stem from personal issues.
That's
how
facts.
we see money, how we think, and how we feel when we're around money. Our relationship with money. Some people think it's the root of all evil. Some people think it's all we need to be happy. I guess what I'm trying to say is, what kind of internal improvement do we need to implement in order for it to grow our income, I guess, and increase our budgeting knowledge.
Fruit of the spirit is self-control.
Yeah.
If you're, let's say you're an obsessive eater, or you indulge in a lot of lustful activities because you lack self-control, it's going to be very hard to budget. I'm just keeping it real. It's going to be very hard when you always get hooked on sugar. It's going to be very hard to abstain yourself from spending money on these things that you don't really need. What I did, I remember the discipline with my money really stemmed from my discipline in the gym. By me hitting the gym consistently and really developing a routine and being structured about a routine and my growth, I realized when I got into the money game, I could use the same principles I learned in the gym to help keep me disciplined with my money. Again, if you don't have discipline in other parts of your life, it's going to be hard to be disciplined on this part. Let's say you're very disciplined in your job. Use that discipline and that structure that you creating your job to carry over to your money life as well. Same for the gym. One area of life can and will affect other areas in your life, especially when it comes to self-discipline. There's a reason why Army soldiers, and we're looking at one right now, or former Army soldiers, there's certain routines that they never give up because it's been ingrained in them and it touches every area of their life, from getting up to making your bed to preparing food at a certain time to going to sleep at a certain time. All these habits you need in order to even think about how you're going to set up your money life. A lot of the people that don't have money are impulsive spenders, and that comes from lack of self-control. Because even sometimes you may even have a budget, but because you're impulsive, you just violate your budget. If we want to win the money game, we have to be disciplined. And sometimes you have to get your discipline from other parts in life. So if you're not already, make a gym routine. If you don't have already, make a prayer schedule. If you don't have already, make sure you're being deliberate about your study time, because all that stuff is going to have carryover, especially to your money.
It's like practicing the principle of delayed gratification.
Exactly. And we live in a world, in a country that is pushing instant gratification every second of every day. You go on social media and you see the shoes that you was talking about your friend, and you was like, dang, how Google know that I wanted the bread 11s?
Yeah.
Now you spend all your bread on the breads.
Yeah.
Tough.
Did you say the bread 11?
The bread 11s?
Yeah.
The bread 11. You didn't say Jordan, you said bread.
The bread.
Bread 11s. Yeah. Black
That's
and
the
red.
model.
Black and red. Yeah, black and
bread
red.
11s?
Bread. Anyways, so
Oh, wait, that's what it is?
yeah, black and red bread. Yeah.
Okay.
The more you know. The more you know.
Yeah, I'm not a sneakerhead.
Nah, they cost money though. Hey, don't give me. Hey, they really cost some money now.
I'm not the kind of guy that like stays up and like waits till like the minute drops till I order the
Yeah,
shoe.
don't.
Like that's not me.
Yeah, that's not
Okay.
it. That's not it. So really, in terms of money, it's all about habits. Everything's about habits.
Yeah.
First of all, you need the structure, and you have to have the habits behind that structure in order to successfully have a financially literate viewpoint in terms of managing your own money. I would recommend everybody who's watching this podcast, going to college, in college, to really spend time to learn about money, learn about investing, learn about budgeting. Very important, learn about budgeting. Learn about credit cards, learn about different types of loans in the future. Maybe you want to buy a house. Learn about real estate. Learn about all these things because you have a superpower being young, and it's called time. The more you waste time on these type of things, the less money that you're going to have in the long run. So it's imperative that we learn these things as we're young so that our money is working for us and not vice versa.
Yeah. Any last piece of advice, doesn't even have to be about anything we talked about. Right now is your chance to throw advice out there to the world. What do you have to say?
Don't get hung up on the little things. And I say that to say, recently almost lost my life, and I lost my car, but it put things in perspective while I was getting stuck up in that Bowie, Maryland parking lot by two goons at gunpoint for my car. I realized that everything I was stressing of, none of it mattered in the face of death. None of it mattered when I was staring at that Glock 19 with an extended clip and a switch on my stomach. I realized what the things I was stressing of at work, over my relationships with people, none of that mattered in that moment. And don't let yourself be facing death to understand that you shouldn't be stressing over the little things. Why I love God so much is because it puts things into perspective of eternity. And I can't see myself now being in this place of asking, why did this happen? Why did this happen? Why did this happen? Because when you zoom out, you see the importance of even the struggle. You see the importance of the trials you're being put through right now, because it's all used to mature you and grow you into the person that God made you to be. But if you're going through and you're like, well, why is this happening to me? Oh, I'm so stressed, you're missing the point. The struggle you're going through in your life is supposed to build you up, not diminish you. The struggle you're going through, you're supposed to be using as that metaphorical weight to grow you to be stronger. You know, the problems of this life, they're far and few between. There's a lot of them, but we just grow stronger to meet them. They don't get easier. So we need to focus on not necessarily viewing those problems as problems, but viewing them as growth opportunities.
Yeah.
So that we can grow into the men and women that we're supposed to be.
That deserves a...
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Senya, thank you so
Yes,
much.
sir.
I appreciate you coming on the show.
Appreciate
It
you.
means a lot to me. It means a lot to them. I think a lot of people could use some of this advice.
That's for y'all at home. Yeah, I see you on the couch eating cookies and chips. It's for you.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Senya, for coming. It means a lot.
Thank you.
The full audio is going to be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I know a lot of you guys watching aren't even like subscribed. So
So what are you doing?
What are
Like,
you
subscribe.
doing?
Like,
Go
right now.
subscribe.
Like,
I'm not playing with you. Subscribe right now.
follow the this is going to be a lot. Follow the Instagram page at The Brief Dive, the TikTok page at The Brief Dive, the Snapchat, all caps, The Brief Dive Plus, so you can stay updated on great reels, interesting videos, and upcoming events. Email me at thebriefdive@gmail.com if there's anything that you'd like to speak to me about one-on-one. All of these are linked in the description below. Yeah, but thank you guys for tuning in. Peace out.
peace.